What's up, Drifter Gang? Drifter here, back to the again with another manufacturer comparison, and today we're going to compare the Majorette Honda Civic Type R versus the Tomica Honda Civic Type R. And these two cars right here are newly released for this year, and I think it's safe to say that a lot of collectors, including myself, is really excited to have this in their collection because these two are really pretty cars. However, between the two, they do have some differences. Some are better and some are worse. Well, which of the two is better? The Majorette version or the Tomica version? Well, that's what we're doing here. We're here to find out which one is better. So you guys know the drill. Let's go ahead and compare these two cars right here. Firstly, let's talk about the price of the car, starting with this Majorette version right here, which goes for 13 Singapore dollars, which is surprising because a Majorette premium car usually costs 7 Singapore dollars. I guess Majorette is aware of the Honda Civic hype that goes around the collectors, so I guess they decided to mark things up. On the other hand, with the Tomica version, it goes for 7 Singapore dollars, standard Tomica price, which is much cheaper than the Majorette version. Moving on, let's head over to the front sides of the car, and the first thing that I noticed right away is how much higher the Majorette version is, and that's mainly because of the wheels of the car. We'll get to that later, but let's talk about the details on the front. And look at that, both of them have plastic headlights. The Honda logo is there. They have a really nice detailed front bumper. They're all there, and there doesn't seem to be any differences between the two. Both of them did a great job. But heading over to the hood, there you go. You guys noticed something. On the Majorette version, we have a small tiny black hole right there, which represents what? The intake, the hood intake for the top of the car, while on the Majorette, it remains plain. Not a big detail, but Majorette did do something right there. So plus 1 point to Majorette. Heading to the side of the car, look at this Majorette version right here. As I mentioned earlier, it's much taller than the Tomica Honda Civic Type R, and the reason for that is because of how large the wheel is and how high the suspension is. So if I zoom out right here and give the car a little press, you can see it has suspension, and that's really nice. And the thing is, the Tomica has suspensions too. Yes, for those who don't collect Tomica, Tomica has suspensions. And between the two, the Tomica suspensions feel so much more nicer than the Majorette version. However, the Majorette version does have better wheels. If you guys take a closer look, you can see, look at that, there are 6-spoke wheels with the red trim. Although that is where the first problem comes. The red chrome on the wheels of my car rubbed off. I have not played with it. I just touched it a bit and it easily rubs off. And that's one thing Majorette should pay attention to, because on the Tomica version, although the wheels are really ugly, they are very durable. As you can see, I rub my finger on it and it's still there. But back to the Majorette version, you can see there's still some red trim there. If I rub my finger on it, look at that, it starts to disappear. So Majorette, you gotta step that up. But alright, enough about the wheels. How about the other parts of the car? The Majorette version does have side mirrors, and for those who pay attention to side mirrors, there you go, it has some pretty sturdy, nice side mirrors right there. The side skirt, you can see it's right there, it's all black. But on the Tomica version, this is where I start to really admire the Tomica version. You can see there's a nice red trim on the side of the car, which is iconic to the Honda Civic Type R. And not only that, yes, it's also plain black, but if you guys take a closer look, you can see it resembles sort of like a carbon fiber pattern on the car, and that's a really nice touch by Tomica. Props to you. So when it comes to the side of the car, well, the Majorette has better wheels, but the suspension are a bit too high. The Tomica has nice side skirts and a nice red line. Well, it's really hard to decide. So in terms of the side, I'll give it a tie. Both of them have some nice positive points going on for the car. Last but not least, let us take a look at the rear of the car, and wow, look at that difference. The Majorette is really is much taller than the Honda Civic Type R, and that's the reason why most of you guys mentioned earlier that yeah, this does look like an SUV, and I think it kind of is out of proportion. It does look much nicer, you know, it's less chunky and more detailed, but it does look kind of out of proportion, because if you guys look at the Majorette version right here, and then take a look at the Honda Civic Type R Tomica version right here, the Tomica version looks much nicer. It's much more flatter and looks closer to the real thing, in my opinion. I think it's just me. Maybe some of you would prefer a less chunky or maybe a taller Tomica Honda Civic Type R, but in this case, this Tomica really did a nice job. Look at that. Rear light sample, silver rear lights. You can see Honda Civic Type R logo right there. The spoiler is detailed in black. It is plastic though, which is not a big deal because they did a great job painting it, and all the rear vents, the red stripe that I mentioned on the side skirt runs along to the rear bumper as well. Very nice details. Heading back to the Majorette right here, look at that. It also has rear light samples on the Civic logo right there. Very nice. The spoiler this time time is metal, and it's much better because metal spoilers are much more sturdy and nicer. It's painted black as well, and there are rear bumpers. It does not have the rear lines, just like the Honda Civic Type R from the Tomica, but it's not bad. It has the rear bumper. However, this is where Tomica loses out big time. The Majorette version has... oh wow, an opening trunk. Yes, if you've never seen this Majorette casting before, you might have been surprised by that. Yes, this Majorette Honda Civic Type R has an opening trunk, and it's really nice. I really like moving features. Like, although I don't really like play with my cars per se, moving features are nice, and as a kid, I think you might enjoy this more. However, for those who have watched my review of the Honda Civic Type R, you can see that this opening rear trunk, when you open it, it rubs against the shark fin antenna of the car. So if you guys allow me to focus my camera on this, let me zoom in right there. You can see there are some rub marks on the shark fin or antenna right there, because when I open the trunk, it rubs against the antenna. So that kind of sucks. As much as I love the opening feature, it really sucks that Majorette didn't do any spot checks or even check the quality, you know, to ensure that this won't happen when a person opens the trunk of the car. So on the rear part of the car for the Majorette version, you can see it's a bit out of proportion, but it does have a nice opening trunk, which sadly rubs against the shark fin antenna. But for the Tomica, it might not have an opening trunk, but it does not have a nice detailed rear bumper, and not to mention a much more proportionate size. So between the two, Majorette, as much as I love your opening trunk, it does disappoint me that it rubs against the shark fin antenna. I think Tomica takes the cake for the rear part of the car. So which one is better, the Majorette version or the Tomica version? Well, if you guys ask me which one I like more, I'm not quite sure. The Majorette has nice wheels, much more details. As I just noticed, there's on the roof, there are some black lines right there, while on the roof of the Tomica version, there aren't any white lines. And along the window panels as well, there are black lines around the window panels of the Majorette version, while the Tomica version has only the side panels, and also not to mention the opening trunk of the Majorette. I love opening features, and although it rubs against the shark fin antenna, you gotta admire Majorette for adding an opening feature. But on the other hand, the Tomica version, what I really like is the suspension, the nice red trim around the bumper, and not to mention the carbon fiber look that Tomica is going for, and it does not have any moving features that rubs against the car. So it's really hard to decide, so I'll leave it up to you guys. Which one do you guys prefer, the Majorette version or the Tomica version? Well, tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Let's spark some conversation, debate nicely in the comment section below. I don't want anyone to be fighting, alright? Alright, good job. Anyways, that's it guys for today's manufacturer comparison video. I am so sorry that I have not uploaded this past 2 days. I've been really busy, but I hope to upload maybe another review or even another manufacturer comparison in the weeks to come. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Yeah, have a good evening, happy hunting. Hope you guys find some really good cars, and I'll see you guys next time.